Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Escape with Nick and Adam. I'm Nick, going solo for right now. Hopefully, we'll have Adam join us fairly soon. He's going to give us his Munsters review. But we got lots to talk about tonight, so uh, let's start here. So, Blade loses its director, big deal, and a lot more bad news for the MCU than good. We'll get into that a little bit later. MCU star wants to play a Thundercat. That got my attention. Once again, more about Rob Zombies Munsters once Adam gets here. We're going to talk about Andor, latest episode of Andor. I love Stellan Skarsgård. Once again, but we'll get into it. Talk a little bit about House of the Dragons and ask, is anybody even watching Rings of Power? The answer might surprise you, according to one source. A little bit of Blue Beetle news. And let's see here. Yeah, got to talk about. Hopefully, we'll get some other guys on here to talk about modern marketing for movies. I don't understand the trend. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand. Let's be honest. I don't understand a lot of things in the world, but I do understand marketing a little bit. We'll get into it, but yeah. So let's get into some news here. So where do we go? Let's go with Movie Web. So Movie Web's a great site. Blade star Ali reportedly very frustrated with Marvel's process. Script only 90 pages long, plus lost his director, so that's no good. So I'm told that the current Blade script is roughly 90, and this is a tweet from Jeff Snyder. I'm told the current Blade script is roughly 90 pages and features exactly two lackluster action sequences. I apologize. I'm going to butcher your name, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Mahershala is said to be very frustrated with the process. Feige said to be spread too thin, but hey, that's just what sources are telling me. Don't shoot the messenger. So, new Blade. I think there's a little bit of not controversy, but a little bit of disappointment that Wesley Snipes was not going to be brought back for the titular role of Blade, even though he is going to be brought back in some capacity. I think for Secret Wars, that's rumor. We'll see. But yeah, more bad news for Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, where it's just they lost another director, and and you have your star already unhappy, and it doesn't seem like things even started shooting yet. So, not great. And then let's get into another one. So it looks like Anthony Mackey wants to play. He's planting his flag to play the role of Panther in Thundercats. So, and I know the director from Godzilla and King Kong was supposed to have that working. So Captain America star Anthony Mackie plants his flag in the role of Panther in the Thundercats movie. Anthony Mackie calls Thundercats member Panther his dream role. This article is by John Fuge. And Anthony Mackie sets its sights on another iconic character aside from Captain America, with a Marvel actor hoping for a role in an upcoming Thundercats live-action adaptation. He was speaking with Men's Journal. Mackey declared his love for the 80s animated series, stating that he has planted his flag in the role of Panther, the gruff, noble, nunchuck-wielding warrior. And a quote from him, "But now, if I could play another superhero, it would be Panther from Thundercats, the blue dude." Yeah, I'm a big Thundercats. Yeah, I'm big on Thundercats. That's one superhero. If they ever make that movie, and I'm not him, I'm shutting that bleep down. So, Thundercats is one of my favorite franchises of all time. One of my favorite 80s things from all time. So,
oh yeah,
there you go. There's Adam.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on with Thundercats?
Apparently, Anthony Mackie wants to play Panther, and he's come out publicly and said so.
Good.
So, well, I'm in the realm of any Thundercats news is good news. That means there's interest. That means hopefully something's moving forward with it. So, and hopefully it's not a ridiculous thing like they tried to do with Thundercats Roar back in 2011, because that's just terrible.
What the hell was that? Oh, that
It-
cartoon?
There was two cartoons. There was like the one that was okay. It was a little slow. I tried watching it with actually introducing my son to Thundercats that way. That was a little bit short lived. And then there was a terrible adaptation called Thundercats Roar, which is this obnoxious, not obnoxious, just terrible looking cartoon that should not have existed.
Ireland could not be on the show tonight, but she did say thank you.
Oh, sure.
But she said another time for sure. But I did find another ironic guest.
Okay.
Not so much a guest, but an animate object here. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks more like the guy who's going to play him in the movie, so that's fun.
Yeah, well, this is what he always looks like, right? So, I mean, the guy looks like Namor, right?
Yeah, but not the guy that's going to be playing him in the movie.
Oh, it's the guy who looked like in the movie.
Have you not seen that pictures?
I didn't pay too much attention, man. I'm so concerned about what's going on over at Warner Brothers. I don't worry about.
I'll pull this for you. Where are you? All right. So
yeah.
this is just,
hey, I apologize for letting you hang for 25 minutes, but we were, just, chatting. It was a good time.
I just I was like, I got to get this thing going, or else it's not going to go. I've just been on for a handful of minutes, but this is, if you can see there, the guy on the left is what the picture was. What it's going to look like. That's Namor.
Well, whatever.
I mean, he looks more like an Aztec than an Atlantean. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I know they kind of have to do that because of DC stole the thunder with Aquaman, and he's already the Atlantean, so they've already kind of planted their flag in Atlantis. But at the same time, it's like, dude, just go with it. Everybody will be okay with it. Just stick to the comic books. Just stick to the comic books, please. Just stick to the books, please. Oh, yeah. 3 times.
Unfortunately, that's such a tall order.
They say that, but it's not really that hard.
Well, I'm saying that laying on a lot of sarcasm. It's a tall order to their detriment too, And wow, I'm looking at this toy, dude. Look at this fucking trident. I haven't really paid attention to this.
It's looking pretty good.
Dude, that looks like a Motu fucking toy.
So, all right. So I just kind of went over earlier what we were talking about. Blade lost its director.
I heard.
So, yeah. So, talked about Anthony Mackey wants to be Panther. We're going to get into Munsters later. You're going to give your review. I want to talk about Andor. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire last episode, but I want to absolutely just go because the one particular actor, I'm just like, oh God, you're so good. You're such a good actor. Like, how are you? Why are you on a Star Wars show?
Why are you on a Star Wars show?
What? Just like, oh geez, like you're such a good, like you're just absolutely killing this role, and I'm so like, it's honestly a masterclass in acting, and I'm completely here for it. I'm just like, just change the name of the show to this guy, and let's be done with it. Talk a little bit of House of Dragons. Ask, is anybody actually watching and enjoying Rings of Power? I saw it. One article make a very interesting claim. In the House of Rings of Power versus House of Dragon kind of debate, and then they throw in this caveat at the last second. I was like, all right, calm down. There is a little bit of Blue Beetle news for you for the movie, because we were talking about that the other day, and I saw some articles pop up and get into some of the things just about some of the marketing in modern movies, like how I don't understand it. I don't understand the idea of modern marketing in movies. Hey, Jerry, thanks for joining us.
Hey there, Jerry.
So where we leave off? So do you want to get into Munsters, or do you want to jump to Andor first?
Well, what were you just saying about you don't understand about the marketing? Or did you want to say that for later? Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
Sorry, I misunderstood.
We
I was double-minded.
Let's
I don't either. I don't.
So I've come to the conclusion, like, you know how like back in the glory days of the Hollywood, like you only heard like little snippets, like the access to the actors was very controlled. You know why now?
Sure.
Because when they can talk and just say anything they want, you're just like,
yeah.
You look like a moron, and you should just shut up more often. You should not be allowed to talk freely. You need a handler.
Yes.
You legitimately need someone to tell you what to say in these interviews when you talk, because when you talk, you actually push people away from your show that you're trying to put up
to promote
and put good publicity out for.
So who are we talking about here?
Let's just talk about Andor. So let's see here if I can. I'm gonna pull up the.
Again, I've only seen the first episode.
Oh, it's fine. You don't have to see anything, but any of it to get the gist of what this actress is saying.
Hey, Jerry, love you, brother.
Denise, I think it's Denise Gao or Go. She plays Deidre Miro, and she said in an interview, and basically it was just like, I'm the smartest person in the room. All the men are stupid, and I just have to deal with all these stupid men being stupid all the time. And it's really hard being so awesome while all these other people are stupid. I'm like, realize who the vast majority of Star Wars fans are, right? You're not helping any. No one's going, I want to watch more of you. You know?
I want to watch more of you.
You are just completely reeling me in there with your fantastic interviewing skills there.
And who does she play?
She plays an Imperial officer that you actually get introduced here in the latest episode.
So
and don't get me wrong, she's really good. Like, I really like her, but like, holy geez, like, why is no one wrangling or corralling you and saying, hey, don't say that. Please don't be dumb.
I wonder, how come it's not in the contract not to say shit like that?
It astounds me that it's not. Or like, hey, and I don't want it to seem like, oh, it's just her. No, it seems like so many, especially if it's a Disney / Marvel thing, it seems like they can say whatever they want when it pertains to like one particular side of people. And I'm talking more politically because we here on the Escape do not talk about politics. We don't talk about any side of politics. We don't back any side. Adam, remember when we were younger and you used to say, I'm not racist. I hate everybody the same. That's how I feel about politics.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about politics and politicians. Be like, I'm not going to go to bat for either side because I can pick. There's so many flaws on each side. So that being said, we don't talk about politics. We don't toe politic lines. We just say what we feel, and we stick to the stuff that we know, like nerdy stuff like this. So, so that being said,
about the politics, though, I must say this: we don't like to get involved in politics or telling you how to choose or how to vote, but this November and every November thereafter, when you go to the polls, I urge you to vote for Pedro.
We do encourage you to vote. Go out and exercise.
No, I don't.
Your Democratic.
I said fucking vote for Pedro.
I know what you said.
Anybody to vote. I'm staying home that day, just so you know.
Be a good American.
And stay.
That being said, don't get involved.
No, George Carlin opened that up for me. I was like, holy shit, he's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, now we're getting stupidly political.
No.
Being
now
funny.
We're done.
That's it. I'm just being funny.
But that being said, when you start going after a particular set of people who voted a particular way and completely just throwing them away, you're literally throwing away half your audience.
Well, yeah.
Don't do that. Don't even talk about politics, because you know what? Once again, on this show, we like to talk about escapism. That's why we're called The Escape. So when we come to Star Wars, we don't want to deal with our politics. We don't want to talk about what's actually going on in our world, especially if you're an American.
I can actually totally defend exactly what you're saying by using myself and this podcast as an example in my recent experiences. So recently I went back to school for the recertification of audio, right?
Sure.
And so there was a little class we had called podcast engineering. It was bigger if you were in person, but we were a small class and we were online, so whatever. And the instructor said, I don't care if you guys cuss. Drop all the F-bombs you want. I'm the only one who's going to hear this, right? Except for maybe your friends or family. But do know this. If you do a podcast and you're going to swear, know that you've just cut your audience in half, or you've cut a third of your audience away. Because now you've got a specific group of people that cannot listen to it. And so maybe you think, and this is what his point was, maybe you think, oh, well, it's not for kids' ears. But what if an adult is driving a car? And if adult is listening to a podcast, they don't care what their kid wants to hear, but they do care what their kid has to hear.
Right.
So you can lose audience members by Adam sitting here going, F, 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 oof, 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 oof. So it's not necessarily a good idea. So by bad-mouthing half of the people in the world, you're gonna lose some,
well, at least in the
some
country.
Points in the country anyway. You're gonna lose some points.
Yeah, if you immediately pick one side politically and start bashing the other side, like I said, you've immediately cut your audience in half. And that's just the people who actually agree with you. That doesn't mean, and just because those people voted similarly does not mean they even agreed with you. Or guess what? They don't want to hear your crap that you care about, because they don't want to talk about, because when they are sitting down to get interested about the new Star Wars show, they don't care about your political views and how you've worked them into the Star Wars universe. No one wants that. Literally, no one wants that.
Yeah, and it sounds like, I don't know, remember back in the day, well, we weren't even able to vote yet, but it was like you did your shit talking on the field. You didn't talk about politics. You didn't talk about religion. You just went, you voted, and that was it.
Yeah, right. Every couple of years in November, you'd give your neighbor crap about whatever, but that was the extent of it. And the fact that it's almost where politics is the new religion, especially in the United States. It's like, look, man, there's still older generations. I'll say it might have ended with ours and maybe the generation right after. You still don't talk religion and politics in polite society. It never goes well. So that's when we hear people talking about this into our shows that we want to watch, please just don't. Please stop. Just talk about the character. We don't need allegory, because people are smart. They know what allegory is, even though you're like, oh, hey, like in The Rings of Power, but like, hey, we have this person of color. He's an elf now. But what's the first thing we do? We put him in chains. It's like, what the hell's the matter with you people? Like,
well, yeah. Well, it was just like a few years ago. I'm psyched to see the continuation of Supergirl. They've done a somewhat good job, and the next thing you know, like, they're attacking people. They're attacking aliens the same way like people like would attack mutants in the X-Men, and that's never been like a comic book plot ever.
Nope, not even a little. So basically, keep the politics out of my Star Wars, please. Keep it out of my escapism, please, everybody. We don't need allegory. We don't. People are plenty smart enough to see through what you're trying to work into our universes, and we don't want it. That being said, thanks, Jerry. Thanks for agreeing with me. That being said, I am I didn't get a chance to watch the whole episode of Andor. I had a very busy day at work, and I've been very busy. But I did get a chance to watch a little bit before the show. Adam, and I raved about it earlier, but holy moly, is Stellan Skarsgård stealing the crap out of the show.
I'll see the rest of the show just for that.
There is, and I don't want to get into. Well, all right, I'll get into a little bit. So we actually get to the point. We get to, hey, this is what we're doing, and it's you get a little bit of this is what we're doing, a little bit of Ocean's 11, a little bit of it's a heist. I'll say it. It's a heist. It's fine.
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what this the perfect meme for this. But Stellan Skarsgård, he's a spy. Jerry, if you like the first episode, it just gets better. It does. It ramps up. It just gets better.
Hey, folks, this is high praise. Let's take a moment here.
Like, I've said it.
You picked apart some shit and some Star Wars stuff recently this year where I was like, fuck, he's right. So like, I'm listening.
No, and it sounds like it sounds better than I mean it to be. This is Behind the Mandalorian. This is the best thing that Star Wars Disney has produced. At least Disney Plus shows. That sounds like a more praise than it is. Still on the we'll see how it works out, because like I said, you have dumbasses saying dumb things about the show that have no business being there. But the show's good so far. And Adam, there's a scene where Stellan Skarsgård, actually there's a couple scenes. God, he just absolutely kills this episode. But he's a spy, and he's visiting Coruscant, and he's putting on a disguise, and he's putting a ring, he puts a wig on, and you can totally just see him like getting into character for the his changing
personality,
physically changing the personality. I was just like, oh, like it's just a 20-second scene. But I was like, oh, that's just like that's a master class work. Not a single word is said. He's just completely changing right in front of you. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. And then there's a scene with a new character that we're introduced to, because he's son of a bitch. I'm in. Andor's in, and he's basically introducing me as like he's talking to the leader of this team, and he's trying to sell her on the hey, they're on the hey, we've been planning this thing for 5 months. This thing's going down in 3 days. Like, what are you doing? And he's, Scars are selling her, and then he's talking to her, and she looks down, and he just goes, "Look at me!" Like yells at. He's like, she kind of, not that she's acting like a child, but it's one of those scenes where I was like, that had to be improvised, because she looked down, and he immediately snaps at her. He's like, hey, this is freaking serious. Look me in the eyes. Like, there's no time for pouting. This thing's going off 3 days. Get your shit together. And it was like, oh my, but just in, she's looking down, and he says, "Look at me." I was like, oh gosh, like it was just, ugh.
Nice.
And compared to the other stuff, it's not overdone with CGI. And my concern was, are they going to make this a Star Wars show? And they really are. Like, you're on Coruscant. You get to see Coruscant being Coruscant, just running in the background. And it's just like, I always loved it. I was watching one of the behind the scenes things for Battlestar Galactica, and they loved Edward James Olmos Adama so much, because they're like, if he had said all his dialogue in a scene, and if the director just didn't call cut, he was like, he would just go back to running the ship. Like, he's just like, he would just continue on. He's like, I'm the captain, I'm the admiral, I have stuff to go do now.
That's awesome.
He would just go and run the ship, and that's kind of where I just love that. Like, you just get to see Coruscant being Coruscant and running, and you don't see Jedis, and you don't see stormtroopers, but you actually get to see kind of the business being done in Coruscant, because that's where all the business, all the politicians, that's where everything's done. And I was like, it's just very cool to see that. You get to see, like, in very minute pieces in the prequels, but I just love stuff like that. I love storytelling like that. So,
You got me. I'm in. You sold
yeah,
me.
and it's like, hey, we're 4 episodes in, and just compare it
Okay,
to like
four.
Rings of Power. It's like we're like 5 or 6 episodes in. Have no idea where that show's going. It's just it is what it is. There's no but 4 episodes of Andor. I know who the main players are. I know what the plot is now, and I know what the end game is. And always, especially if you're coming from the rebel side, and the end game is to do as much damage as we can to the Empire, in this way. And it's got the whole political intrigue, uh, just all the things I love. Just the spy, the spy craft, and just the drama be going behind the scenes. Be like, how you have the heist movies. The heist is cool, but it's all the drama leading up to the heist and all the planning.
And then
It's
how slick the people are that execute their specific jobs.
right, like Ocean's 11, where the heist part's really cool, but the best part is getting the team together and doing all the all the training, getting all the pieces set. So that's kind of where they're at.
That is something to look forward to for this weekend for me.
It's I'm not necessarily gloviating about the show, but like, holy crap, like just Stellan Skarsgård, he's just masterful, and he's just like completely, I want to say the old term, like he's just chewing on the scenery, but he's just going
Yes, chewing the scenery. I love that term. Listen, man, if they nailed it, if they made a good one, there's nothing wrong. Give them.
Well, that's it. I was like, hopefully this is, it. And I was listening to Critical Drinker earlier. He was doing a live stream, and he was talking about it. It just feels different. It compared to the Kenobi and everything else that Boba Fett, even Mandalorian. It just feels different, and
It's.
I have to agree.
I think anything that Mandalorian gets away with more than say Obi-Wan would have been allowed to, in this respect that it's so fucking close to Luke, Leia, and Han and Chewie
Right.
that you don't say, should I consider a PG factor here, PG-13 PG factor? You better. And
Right.
and I think I've been using this word a lot tonight, but I think it's to its detriment that it does that. I think the smartest thing Obi-Wan could have done as a show was let go, not even had Leia in there. That should have been a show about Obi-Wan.
Well, and it comes out later that it was supposed to be a Luke and Obi-Wan show, which would have made way more sense. Like, there still would have been issues that you would have had to avoid and a lot of pitfalls that you could have fallen into. But the Luke and Obi-Wan show makes way more sense than a Leia Obi-Wan show.
Well, it makes more sense as far as those two and their chemistry and their relationship. It makes no fucking sense to serve the story of the original trilogy.
No.
So, in that respect, since you told me that, I'm glad they chose Leia. Because, hey, you don't remember any of those crazy adventures that we went on for 6 episodes, Luke.
Yeah. Right.
I buy it a little more that maybe she doesn't know, but even that's hard to fucking buy.
I just would have, I would have had no problem with a Leia show. Have a Leia show for little girls. Cool. Have fun with that. But there was no reason to bring Obi-Wan into that nonsense. No reason.
There's no reason to do an Obi-Wan show.
Not really.
There's a big time reason to do an Anakin or a Vader show.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No. But House of the Dragon. Well, if it's okay, we'll save your Munster stuff for last.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there is a just a one quick toy news thing that we should talk about today, and then we also discussed we're going to talk about premiering Killing Joke tonight.
We talked about it. If we want to, I don't know if I have the ability to do that. But we'll see. But let's get through some news real quick. What toy news did you want to talk about?
I was just happy that they've announced the final figure of the crime syndicate that
Oh,
will
that's right.
finish Starro, and it's going to be, I don't know who he is. Green Lantern John
Power
Stewart.
Ring.
Is that his name? Power Ring.
Yeah, because I posted it on our Instagram.
Okay. So yep, pick him up, and this show's got a Starro, man.
Well, that was such a I want to call it a bizarre choice, but it kind of was a bizarre choice to be like, yeah, let's do the old Starro.
Well, yeah, but I'm glad they did it. It was just, I thought, yeah, it was a weird choice to have what's his name? Brightwing? What's his name?
Power Ring.
Power Ring. That's kind of weird. I thought we were going to see the Johnny Quick, but I'm fine with both. So
how big is Starro actually going to be then?
he's going to be 7-inch scale. He might be a little more jumbo, but I don't even think he's going to be jumbo.
Yeah.
There he is.
I was thinking, if they're going to do a Power or a Starro, I mean, I want to, like, you showed off your dark side last show. I was like, that's the Starro I want.
I would imagine it's going to be like that. I mean, I can pull them. They're right over here. I can pull them. We can take a look. Oh, here, I'll go grab them. Hold on.
All right. Adam does that. Yeah, Adam showed off the dark side. It was the new 52 dark side, and it's like 18 inches. It's gigantic. It's like this tall. I mean, you can't see the bottom, but it's really tall. So I got, here's the McFarlane dark side. So it's almost like imagine two of these tall. It's a little bit different style there, but yeah.
His dad's chair. Whoa.
Here he is.
Hello?
I was trying to explain to the people how big is it new 52 dark side is compared to like the normal dark side, because that thing's
I'll go get him. You want me to go get him?
Yeah, might as well, because it's two. It's like two of these.
Show the PowerPoint.
Hold on.
Or I have it. I have it right here. I can share my screen. Let me.
Yeah, my Microsoft stuff's. I'm out of storage, so they won't let me in.
It's all right. Let's see here. I think I put it in the Bane folder. Okay, so there's the new 52 dark side. Let me pull that up.
I hope Adam does PowerPoints for the show.
Why not? Right? We'll share the entire screen. All right, can you see it?
There it is.
So there's the new 52 dark side. That Bane is the same height as Nick's.
Yeah, so the Bane
Nick's
is like,
dark side.
Yeah, so the Bane's like this side, which I mean that's
Obnoxious.
almost a 10-inch figure. Almost like my hand's almost 10 inches there.
Yeah, it's
yeah, that's a solid another 7. That's an 18-inch figure. That thing's a monster.
Yeah, and you've seen the animated movie Justice League War, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that's my favorite.
That's what it's from.
Yeah.
Well, it's not from that specific one. It's from the comic book version.
Right.
The first 6 issues of the new 52 Justice League, which are, if you thought that Justice League War movie's good, well, if you ever read the books it was based off of, oh brother.
So all right. So, anyway,
are we okay? Did we stop sharing? Yep. Okay.
Yep. All right. So one of the things I saw this article and it's like, there's no way they're trying to spin this because let's be honest. Prime is trying to do all the spinning it can possibly do, and this is from CBR. James Lynch says, Rings of Power crushes House of Dragon and final streaming debut numbers. And here's the tricky part about the whole streaming thing. It's really hard to get like an actual numbers. Like you know how everybody had the Nielsen ratings back in the day, and even those were tough to tell because it was such a kind of a weird, funky metric to measure stuff. So, um, as per the Hollywood Reporter, Prime's Video new mega budget fantasy epic managed to capture a staggering 1.25 billion watch minutes in the wake of its premiere on September 1st. HBO's Game of Thrones prequel continued to score reasonably well, however, with a total of 781 million minutes watched on its back streaming service. And they go right into here. One caveat, by the way, to this metric is that it does not include the audience figures for those watching the series on HBO's traditional television service. So it's like they're like,
And also,
it beat it, Lord of the Rings beat House of the Dragon. It'd be like, yeah, but Prime doesn't have like a regular service that a lot of people watch.
yeah, Amazon Prime service too, and that Lords of the Ring thing. That's you can watch that in Europe. You can't watch HBO Max in Europe because there is no HBO Max in Europe.
Yeah,
there is no HBO Max in China. It's just here in the United States, and it might be in Canada. I don't know about Canada. I know for a fact it's not in those other places. So how do you not beat it in a streaming war if one can only stream in one country and the other one can stream in just about anywhere they have a fucking light socket?
Yeah, they are grasping at straws trying to make the comparison because let's be honest, there is no comparison. I was talking to a friend earlier. He's like, "Oh, don't tell me this." I was like, "Dude, no one cares about this show," and you can just tell because there's zero buzz, zero positive buzz anyway about the show. It was funny. I was watching a video as from heel versus babyface did a great video because there was all this buildup where there were these huge Tolkien fans they took all these YouTubers that were quote unquote Tolkien experts and they put them in this a round table and they were talking about how great the series is, this, that, and the other, and then he goes back because between we've talked about the show. Gary from Neurotic talks about the show, and I'm not trying to mention our names in the same, like we're even comparable as far as anything. I'm just saying that we've covered it. Neurotic's covered it. Heel versus Babyface has covered it. A lot of YouTubers that we cover very similar things. Those guys obviously have ridiculously huge channels compared to ours, but all these Tolkien experts that they brought into this roundtable, they make no content about this show after the show's actually aired. No content. So it's no after show. There's no after shows. There's no streams about it. There's not even he went into their Instagrams, their TikToks, and all that, and where all these people were saying that's their biggest fear that they're in. No content about it. One of them actually said, "I'm not actually watching it right now. I'm gonna wait till the show's done and then I'm gonna binge it." It's like, come on, man! Like, Amazon's been busted so many times with the nonsense that they've been trying to pull any win for this show, and it's just so easily refuted. It's like catching a kid, like lying. Like it's really not that hard. like it's really not that hard to catch a little kid lying.
Did you wonder why I tried? So
did you eat the chocolate brownie? It's all over your face. No, I didn't. Oh, okay. I believe you.
And you stuck to that shit.
Oh yeah, no, to the death.
To the death.
There's been so I busted my son so many times, like evidence in hand. Nope, no, you didn't. I was like, just admit that just admit that you've been busted. Come on, like just admit that you're lying. And Amazon won't do it.
Damn that Okay, so the you wanted to see what Starro looks like. So
yeah.
The first piece of Starro came with Superman of Earth 3, or we call Ultraman. I'm not going to show you the Ultraman piece first. I'm going to show you the second piece, which is Superwoman, and it's not Diana of Themyscira. It's Donna Troy. That's who Superwoman is. Look how big that fucking body is of Starro right there.
That's what she said.
Right. Now, the little one up by her shoulder, that's just a face hugger. The other one,
I was gonna ask if it came with the little babies.
yeah, but they don't hug the face; they hug the chest because that's just the way he made them. I don't know why, but that right there, this is the main body. So then when we look
So
at Ultraman,
that's gonna be a pretty big figure then.
then here's fucking the
That's
face.
just the eye, yeah, the face eye.
And then there's his face hugger. So there's your Ultraman. And then here's the other couple of the legs that came with Owlman.
So I'm gonna say that's gonna be about a 12-inch figure, all said and done.
Yeah.
So that's it's gonna be a pretty good size.
Yeah, so really, yeah. So just need that one left, you know?
Yeah, I didn't say when it was coming out, just said you could pre-order it on Target. So
yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. I'll tell you that right now, damn it, because I've waited too long for this fucking Starro figure.
They did drag this line out because originally it's like, here's three figures in this wave and blah blah, and then like 3 months went by and it's like, oh, by the way, oh yeah, here's the last part. Here you go.
Yeah, I was sitting here going, did they forget?
I did think, I was like, is that the whole thing? Because you're still missing a piece there. But
if you just rooked me into buying 3 figures that I don't want.
Well, that's how they get you, right? I was like, I don't have too much interest in the Crime Syndicate. I want Starro. Give me Starro.
That's exactly it. I only bought them because I want Starro. The fact that they're this Crime Syndicate, here's the thing. I'm okay with that because they're a cool little villain group, and I need a cool little villain group. But if there were no Starro pieces in those boxes, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have bought those. Fuck no.
No, that's the hey Todd, this one we're gonna pass on. Be like, hold on a second, wait, hold up. What about Starro? And we're like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Nick, yeah, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Nick, we gotta like take a 2 weeks or a month off of work and just sit down and just like sit in the same room and read some New 52. Man.
Yeah,
because I love it.
We've been planning to do that.
Well, what I was going to say though is like I don't really care about the alternate Earth type figures except for if they came out with a New 52 Earth 2 line. Oh man, that was a good story. The green is not what you think it is. There's the gray. It's crazy. It's weird.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Because I just saw him come across because this guy did such a cool they're in R from the comic book, and I sent it to you.
Oh, I saw that. The figure?
Find it. Yeah, he did the last panel from damn it, come on. Did I send that from my personal account? But I'll find it. But the guy did such a really good. There you go. So let me share it real quick.
Whoa.
So I'll give this guy some credit on his Instagrams here. So he is Zurin R 1906. Wayne Manor got him. And what's the guy's actual name is Mateo Chuck. And so if you're not following, here, let me show you exactly what it's from. So this is the last panel from, I think, Batman 125. And he recreated it with the Zurin R McFarlane figure. He said he just did a little bit of touch up to the eye and all that. But I was like, that's art right there. That's fantastic.
I love the cloth goods cape.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. The cloth cape, it just completely cements that look that he's doing. So I saw that and I said, oh, that's so good.
Can you go back to his Instagram real quick? I'd like to see something.
Yeah. Oops, not what I'm trying to do. One moment, please. All right, so
what is the Injustice Superman I saw up there?
Yeah, okay. that's one I sent you.
You sent me that one. That's fucking nuts too.
Yeah, he recreated this panel Oops. And I love how he did like the translucent Superman stuff. So yeah, if you that guy, he does great action figure photography. So here's another Zernar. So oh, another one.
I lost it. There we go. Wow. Hey, where'd you get that Bruce Wayne head?
It's the gold label.
Gold labels over an R.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, because I was looking at that because that was the thing he said on. Here's another one. It's all bloody. Yeah, that's because this is obviously the Zern R. McFarlane, and it's just a little bit different from the Jorge Jimenez.
Well, sure.
Brand new.
Sure.
So it's got and that's the thing. So as soon as he said that, I'm like, wait a second. I was trying to find action figures that had that belt, and I was like, can I make this figure from something that McFarlane's already got out? And I was trying to put some pieces together for it. So
yeah, you'd be able to pull that off. You'd be able to pull that off.
I'm just like, you should do that. Please do that,
You should.
and then give it to me.
Did you? Oh, speaking of that, I might just have to pay you to do something for me, buddy. I'm sorry, but they
Nothing sexual.
You released a fucking 5-pack.
Oh, I saw that.
Do you know how bad I want that Batman?
All right, let's go back to it. Hold on. So I know exactly. Edit. Our friend Toy Shiz, that guy does. I try and keep up on some of the toy stuff, but he just does such a better job at it. No yawning. It's
I can't help it, buddy. Early. Dude, I'm like, it's 10 a.m. It's late.
Yeah, so McFarlane just also released the up on Amazon. This is the Bat Family 5-pack gift for $100. I don't even know if it's still available, but
Really?
I don't care for this Nightwing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this Nightwing.
It's 90s. I'd like to see it closer.
I don't think he's got a closer Batman, which is basically what I took. I basically made that Batman. I've got that. I don't know where I put him.
Listen, dude, do you make one for? I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to screw around and try to test my talents. I'm gonna buy one of those. Will you make it up for me? Yes, Adam, I will.
I've got one.
Then I'll give to you. And you can just give me another one. And I'll paint that and keep it for myself. Okay, Nick.
No, I was hey, one thing I noticed, and I didn't get them while I should have. They had the 3 Jokers Batman at GameStop that was already discounted and then discounted again. So
why didn't you get him?
I didn't have the money. I didn't want to go. I'd already spent $100 on Batman figures. I couldn't spend any more.
Wait a minute. What fucking Joker from GameStop?
The 3 Jokers Batman that is super customizable.
The one with the hat?
No. From 3 Jokers.
Well, the one with 3 Jokers has the trench coat, a hat, and camera. The comedian.
The Batman.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, they had that Batman at 50%. Actually, it was like, no, it was already discounted and then discount 50% off discount. So it would have been like $9.
Yeah, well, I will. If you're going back that way, let me know. I'll
tomorrow's payday, and if it's there, I'm getting it. Also with April O'Neil as Frankenstein's bride. But that's one of those. That's the stupid money on Friday. That's why I let it wait. I was like, if it's still there on payday, okay, it was meant to be. But if it's gone, it was not meant to be.
Sure. Yeah, I'm done talking about NECA and that the Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil. Let's talk about your Ninja Turtles. Now, I walked past them today at Walmart again. I'm like, mother.
Right. All right. There was a little bit of Blue Beetle news because I knew. All right, hold on. There. All right. Here's some other news. I saw this and I'm like, please don't let this happen. This is not Blue Beetle related. It's just CBR putting out stuff. So, rumor has it Harrison Ford is Marvel's top choice for Thunderbolt's new General Ross. Please don't let this happen.
Ooh.
Please don't.
Oh my God. Take the Hulk down.
There we go.
Where are we, Chewie? Here. I think we're
Go bleed yourself.
The Hulk belongs in a museum.
All right, what was I looking for here? Kitty? I got my wife's not home, so he's like, I need attention. I was like, I ain't the one. I'm not the one.
I'm not the one.
I don't do that.
I ain't the one.
Hold on, I gotta go to. Founding in the comics here. So, founding in the comics, Blue Beetle director says, film has the blessing of Warner Brothers Discovery despite Batgirl cancellation. So he, like everybody else, thought as soon as Batgirl got the axe, he's like, yeah, probably Blue Beetle's getting it. But that's not the case. It is full steam head ago. I can't say things today. You know what I mean? It's got the green light. Good to go. And this is the actor, Adam, that here on the left, that's to be playing the Blue.
Oh, that's Jaime?
Yes.
I'm all in.
Yeah. I say it's a great choice. I don't know if it's going to show the Blue Beetle action or comic book. I don't know if they showed. It doesn't look like they had the pictures from.
I still want to see that fucking movie though. I don't care how.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like probably sit down and drink a few or smoke a few just to get through it. But yeah. I know.
What, Blue Beetle?
No.
Batgirl.
Batgirl.
You know, ever since I pulled this Namor figure out, showed it, and set it to the side and look at it, for some reason I'm sitting here going, how bizarre, how bizarre. Fellas in the front, sweet Zena's in the, or whatever, cruising down the freeway in the hot, hot sun.
All right. Like, sorry, go ahead.
How bizarre. Sorry. I had to.
All right, Adam. Let's get to it. Rob Zombies, The Munsters. What'd you think?
Pleasant surprise. Okay, so first of all, I didn't see the trailer.
Yeah, let's be honest. So all the reactions so far have fairly been negative. And even Adam, you were saying like one of the guys that you go to is like that you normally agree with. You're like, yeah, he said it's shit. So you're like,
So Jeremy Johns has a rating system, and the best movie is Awesome-tacular. Second best is worth buying on Blu-ray. Third best is a good time, no alcohol required. Fourth is probably be a good time if you're drunk. And then the worst is dog shit. And it got a dog shit rating. And he walked in with the same kind of mentality that I was about to walk into it with. Mind you, I had not seen the trailer. And I was like, ooh, man, this guy, we see eye to eye quite often. And even when we don't, it makes sense. And I looked at the trailer. I was like, I'm pot committed, man. I already said I'd do a video on this. And I'm changing my mind left and right. So I got into it and I started watching it. My sister and I are texting back and forth. She said, did you watch it? And I said, I just pressed play. She says, we're watching it now too. I says, I heard it might not be very good, sis. She replies with, I'm getting that vibe. That was her reply.
It's me. Oh no.
Yeah. So as I watched it, one, it looked like they just took their budget and went to like Spirit Halloween, just like Jeremy John said. I'm quoting him, but it looks like they went to Spirit Halloween and was like, "It's all ours. Let's fucking go crazy." So in that respect, oh my God, it looks beautiful. Like it doesn't look real like a Freddy scene. Okay, they're not. Well, they're not trying to do that.
I know they basically built the house in Hungary and shot it all in Hungary.
Yeah, so it looked like the coolest house on the trick-or-treating block. It looked like the rich guys, the rich people decked out their home. That's what it looked like.
Big
And
candy
then
bars are here.
And then Rob Zombie was doing these crazy like reaction shots of people going, "Whoa!" But instead of in the background, like you don't see their background, you see swirling stuff like you would in an anime or old 1970s stuff. Very shaky. But then it was what hit me was all of that was cool. I automatically respect any filmmaker who chooses to do that kind of stuff on a budget. I mean, let's face it, it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to make these movies. That takes balls. It tells me he was out there having fun. Then, like, Herman Munster comes along. Okay. And Herman Munster all of a sudden has a rock band. And Herman Munster is a stand-up comedian. And you think it's attributed to the brain they put in the monster's head. But, yeah, it is. And then I started thinking about episodes I saw where, like, Herman Munster's talking to his son Eddie. Oh yeah, in my day, I was, number one in this or whatever in this and that. I was like, holy shit, that's what he's showing right now. He's showing all the cool shit that he used to do. That's what Rob Zombie was doing, was showing the cool life that Herman led before he got married, right? Get this. Lily goes out on a date with Count Orlok, from Nosferatu, the German version of Dracula.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
I can't keep going. I'm trying to talk to you. Now you're making me talk to the audience. All right. Long story short, now that Nick's leaving, Sherry Moon does a shtick the whole time. She's doing a impersonation of Lily Munster, an over-the-top impersonation of Lily Munster. I don't know if she shouldn't have done that if it was going to be a like serious type movie, but since this was just something that a passion project they wanted to make, it was cool that she stuck with it, in my opinion. But this is not for everybody. This is literally like, I can't believe how much. First of all, let's think about, before I say this, Rob Zombie, in one of his biggest songs is Dragula, which is the name of the Munster Mobile. Okay, that's like me coming out with a rock song going, burn in the back of my Batmobile. That's like me singing that. That's exactly what the fuck that is. I can't believe how much Rob Zombie knows about the Munsters. Like almost down to the damn soap Herman washes with. You know what I'm saying? And so I was very, very, very entertained. I fell asleep before it ended, but that was just because I was tired. It had nothing to do with the movie. I was into it. It's bizarre. It is so fucking bizarre. Like, you can't believe. It's almost like sitting down, too, like, watching the Star Wars Christmas special. Going, this exists. Like, I'll never forget the look on my buddy Tony C's face. When I was like, let's watch it. You got to see this. And he's watching. I go, what do you think, Tony? He goes, I just can't believe that this exists. And he's just this fucking puzzled look on his face. That's how I feel about this. That's how I feel about it. I love it. It's going to be in the background of my life for a long time. Like, if I need something on in the background while I'm cleaning or I'm just goofing around with action figures and trying to, it's going on. I'll probably know how to quote this movie left and right eventually.
Well, that's the biggest thing I heard so far is that, besides from you, one of the over on Film Threat, they were reviewing it based, and the one guy, I forget his name right now, not Chris Gore. Basically, like, hey, you got to get through this first half of the movie because that gets a little rough, and it seems he called it seemed a little very improv-ish, and then the second half is really where it kind of finds its groove and it gets better.
I know more about the first half than I do the second. The first half is kind of what made me fall in love with it, but seeing them react and interact in the like when they're out in Paris and everybody freaks out and runs away from them, spoilers, like they're in the real world. To me, it feels like they left Sesame Street and, showed up on, Gratiot or whatever, Paris Boulevard. And I liked that about it. I really did. I liked that about it. And are they trying to say that they left the afterlife? Ooh, double meaning. Ooh. They're not. It's the Munsters. That's all he's saying. It's just the Munsters.
I say you could go pretty deep on it if you wanted to, with the whole like, hey, they're obviously different from you, but they're just normal people at the end of the day. I mean, you could take that as, we were talking about allegory earlier. You could sit there, and twist the knobs on that if you wanted to.
Sure.
But it's one of those. I mean, and it's so funny, especially nowadays. People are like, "Oh, talking about just like, oh, there's never been such and such on the screen before. This type of people have never been on screen before." Be like, we had a freaking Frankenstein's monster on the screen, and you're sitting here complaining about different races. I was like, we had literal monsters being introduced as just regular people into the world. I was like, if you don't see what they're trying to do there, they're trying to say, just let people be people, because at the end of the day, everybody just kind of wants to be themselves. And if you let them be themselves, they're probably just going to leave you alone.
2 years ago, when the country was going through some troubles and there were some riots and things going on,
we call that the summer of love.
Sure. Yeah, Altamont, right? But there was a Munsters thread that kind of went a little viral on Facebook, and it was Herman Munster. This was a real, excerpt from the show talking to his son. He says, "It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, green, or whatever. All matters if you're tall, short. All that matters is your blah 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 and the character of your heart." Yeah. And he's telling that to his son, and that was the message. It starts out, doesn't matter if you're white, black, blah, and then he goes into green, yellow, purple, and all that. But the first few things he said were the human colors in the 1950s.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so ridiculous, especially with Star Wars, where people are like, oh, blah 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 blah. I was like, the most argued scene in all of Star Wars happens between a white guy and a green guy. Between Han and Greedo. That's the biggest argument that there is in Star Wars, and people are like, "Oh, there's not enough of this." I was like, "They're not even supposed to be human. Like, I don't know what we're doing."
Here's the argument, okay? These are Sharpie markers. Right here. Now I'm going to go into wherever it's at. I'm going to find the original Mona Lisa, and I'm just going to kind of I'm going to put a tiny little slash across the top and say, that's how it was meant to be. And that is how you get Greedo firing first. Yeah. Can we end this fucking stupid show now? I don't want to talk. You brought that up. Bad memories.
So, Adam, would you give this a recommend, or is it a cautiously at your own peril watch this?
Cautiously at your own peril, watch this. If you are a lover of independent filmmaking, I highly recommend this.
Cautiously.
No, I wouldn't expect to like it for the plot or for like anything. It's funny, don't get me wrong, and then the acting is on purpose, but the choices that are made are things that you can't do. They won't let you do it in cinema. It's against the rules. Rob Zombie got to break rules, and I'm very proud of him for that.
Yeah.
He broke the right ones. He didn't make when he made Michael Myers hallucinate and see ghosts, that was almost unforgivable. He didn't do that with the Munsters.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where this is, and I think we can say this is almost 100% just Rob Zombie's vision.
Yeah. Imagine it being you though, playing with Star Wars, what you would do.
Right.
And at his age, with fuck you money.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I was like, sometimes, and this might be one of those trepidation things where I was like, careful what you wish for, Rob Zombie, because this is exactly what you wanted. This is exactly how you wanted this to be. And now, it's going to be up to the public to pick it apart, enjoy it or not like it. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, how there's all these different movies that come out, like Blade Runner's got 16 different versions with the director's cut, and you sit there and watch it and be like, now I know why they cut out that part.
Right.
Now I know why they left out this part and this part and that part. So, you know, sometimes there's reasons why there's editors, why there's people are saying, you know, or what I like to just call, you know, good friends in life. Be like, you need people who go, "Are you sure that's what you want to do right now? Are you sure? Are you sure?" So,
You're right. You are. You're totally right.
but Adam, you're giving it a recommend. It's going on the list. You actually texted this is one of your favorite movies so far of 2022.
Well, so far, what else came out in 2022?
Not a lot of good stuff.
I like it
Not
better
movie
than
wise,
Doctor Strange because at least it's authentic.
right?
I mean, you can say the movie's a piece of shit all you want, but it's an authentic piece of shit. Doctor
Right.
Strange is just corporate branding,
Yeah.
and it's not the follow up to WandaVision because I'm going to tell you right now, like I thought about that seriously the other day. Like she was like redeemed at the end of WandaVision. There's no way this person would be like, unless you, no. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, that's a different story
that's
for
I'm getting
later
off.
in the year.
Yeah, later in the year. So no, it's not Doctor Strange. What else do we got? I can't think of anything. I'm
Oh,
gonna see Black Adam
uh,
and Halloween, but
probably the best one of the year for me is probably Top Gun.
okay, I haven't seen Top Gun, but fair enough, right there. I'll say Top Gun is going to be in my top five, and I will see it before the year's out. And
I mean, definitely not Love and Thunder.
no, God no, that doesn't even make
Terrible.
top. I mean, no.
Golly, it's been such a bad freaking year.
It has. It really, really has.
Yeah, one of the things I do want to talk about these days is uh Don't Worry Darling, because I don't want to see it, but I think it's just one of those, it's such a, once again, getting into marketing, I think all the marketing for that was complete bullshit. I think all the drama for that was strictly made up, strictly
I do too, because
for the
no one
movie.
is talking about it from
That
Florence Pugh's camp or Olivia Wilde's camp.
if they had not made any fuss at all, this movie completely would have gone 100%. Not under the radar, not even
Right.
on the screen.
Sure.
Trying to find.
I want to see it. You know what? That's what I was going to say on this show. I don't know, man. I mean, I really want to get back to seeing like real movies now. You know?
It's yeah. There's got to be some type of, I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know
I'll
if you
give you.
want to call it a revolution or some type of something. You know, whatever it is, Hollywood, it's not working.
Yeah. Remember when? I remember. No. But remember. Remember the Titans. Remember shit like that. Good movies. Forrest Gump. I just want to go to the movies and see a movie. It doesn't have to be an action movie. It doesn't have to be, but there's nothing being made really. It seems like, and I don't think they know what to do with the movies these days. I really don't. I think that they're still
Well,
confused with streaming. I don't think they know how to do it, and I think Tom Cruise is really our only saving grace in that respect because he really is trying to tell people what I get from Tom Cruise and with what he did with Maverick, and this is regurgitated information, but I agree with it. It seems like he's saying, yeah, someday maybe the movies will be gone, but they're not right now. They're still here, and a theatrical experience is still important.
it is, but also I saw a really interesting uh, video about what Matt Damon was saying. It's like it's so hard. Like there's so many films that you'll never hear about because he's like back in the day, like you used to be able to make a movie, and yeah, it may have not been a huge box office draw, but you knew you were going to make your money on the back end as far as DVD sales. DVD sales are gone, and I think there's going to be a big reckoning when it comes to the streaming services where you're not. These movies are not going to be coming out to the streaming services, and if they are, it's going to be like 6 months down the line. They're going to force you to either buy it in some type of either software form or hard media form. Like there has to that's where the pushback has to be is, and I'm perfectly okay with if the as long as they don't charge. That's a part of the issue too, is because some of the outrageous prices that they charge for Blu-rays and Blu-ray players.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a hard push to go back to some type of hard media, in which there should be, because one of the biggest things is, yeah, you can buy it and it's in the cloud, but also if it's in the cloud, people can go back and change it if something's quote unquote problematic later.
Sure.
So,
sure. Yeah, that's true.
That being said, I think that's a good place to stop. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Jerry, thanks for hanging around. I know we had other people. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton. If you want to see what we're going to be talking about on the show coming up, or just what I think is funny sometimes or interesting, go check out our Instagram or Facebook, The Escape with Nick and Adam. And if you like the show and you want to take us with you and you don't want to see our ugly faces, then download us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, or Google Podcasts. So, other than that, Adam, any last words?
Love your planet, Houston.
Night, America.